I'm feeling rather jaded. Get it? Get it? Today we're talking about the jade plant. Can you tell? I've got my jade collection here to share with you. I'm going to be showing you what to look for disease, how to water them, how to plant them. We're going to propagate some, and I'm going to tell you all the things you need to know about the lovely jade plant, otherwise known as the money plant.
So first off, let's talk about watering needs for jade plants. Watering, you want to do it fully but sparingly. So let me kind of explain what that means. What you don't want to do is trickle a little bit of water in every time you would, water maybe some of your other more thirsty house plants. What you want to do with a jade plant is actually drench it. So you want to think about that these are a succulent plant. They prefer kind of more of a desert environment, right? So think about in the desert when it rains, it drenches everything, the rivers are flowing, everything's going, and then it's dry. So kind of want to mimic that in real life. So what I do is I take all my jades to either my utility sink, you could do it in the bathtub, the kitchen sink, and you really want to drench them all down. Now, when I do that, I also rinse the leaves off just a little bit. So I'll kind of, rinse the dust off of the leaves. In general, you don't want to have the leaves wet because that can harbor disease. But give them a good drench, let that water really flow. Do that a few times and make sure that, you do have them in a well-draining pot, and that way they'll have a big drink of water, and then you just leave them alone. Don't water them little bits at a time throughout the rest of the next couple months. Just drench them once, leave them alone. Now you can tell when they need water because the leaves will actually start to shrivel and pucker. So they're a really good plant to kind of tell you when they're ready for another drink. But their leaves actually hold quite a bit of water within them, so they can go quite a while without, getting a lot of water. Let's talk about potting soil for this type of plant. You definitely want to use some sort of cactus or succulent mix when you are repotting jade plants or even when you're propagating jade plants. You don't want a soil that's going to maintain or hold on to a lot of water. So usually a cactus mix has a little bit more rock in it. And any kind of cactus mix that you can find at your local nursery will be perfect for your jade plants. So here in my collection, I actually have two different types of jade plants. So I wanted to show you the different ones. One of them has a much smaller leaf structure to it, and I've noticed it tends to get longer branches, whereas the other one grows more like a tree shape and has bigger leaves to them. So I'm going to take you through my collection and show you the two different types. And then I also want to show you what to look for with one of the diseases that seems to be very common with at least my jade plants here in the Pacific Northwest. So let me take you up close and show you some of my collection today. So I've separated my jade plants into the two categories that I'm talking about. So you can see this one has really spindly branches. So I need to do some trimming and grooming of these today. But these are the variety I'm talking about that has kind of a smaller growth habit. So you can see the leaves don't get that big versus this one here. So this one, I've noticed the leaves are quite a bit bigger. And if you look at the trunks, they're also quite a bit bigger. Now here's a good example of a leaf that's telling me this plant is thirsty. See how it's looking kind of shriveled up and puckered? That's a good indicator that that plant is ready for some water, and I am going to water these all today. But I would have to be honest and tell you that I prefer this variety, and I'll try to do a little research and see if I can figure out what the different names are. But I like the ones that have more of these thicker trunks. This is probably my oldest one here, and take on more of that tree structure versus these smaller varieties, which I've noticed they just don't quite do the same thing. Now this one is an older one too, and you can see the structure of the stem or the stalk is starting to get that look, but it's nowhere near this variety here. This one I've had for a long time as well, and you can see what happens with, this one's getting really top heavy. You can see it's leaning over, so I need to do quite a bit of grooming on these today. Here's another example of one that I need to prune. So this would be a really great example. So this one is like hanging down, see that? And then there's new growth popping up right here. So I'm just gonna go ahead and trim that one right there and allow this trunk to go up and the growth habit to go up, because this is stressing out this plant right now. All of this weight pulling down on the stem is not good for it at all. So anyway, I just kind of wanted to show you a little bit of my collection here and, kind of show you the two different varieties. I have had the most trouble with disease of this smaller variety. So let me show you one thing that I struggle with, and that is these little, it's almost like mildew, but it's basically like a powdery mildew, or I think sometimes it's not scale. What is the name for it? I'm gonna have to look it up. But see that little fuzzy white stuff? That is bad news bears. That is not good. So that will take over and kill this plant. So you can do a couple things. You can just remove them with your fingers. It's probably better to get a little cotton swab with some like hydrogen peroxide and clean this up. Honestly, what I'll probably do today is just cut this whole part off and try to rebound this plant. This plant in particular is really struggling with this disease. So I've trimmed it, and even the newer leaves that I'm getting still have that white, disease. Also, if you end up getting a plant like this that has a disease, you want to isolate it from your other plants so that that doesn't spread. But you can see, I need to do some trimming. I need to do some grooming. I need to prop these up a little bit more. So again, here's another one. See how this is stressing out this plant? It's got this big arm here that's hanging down. So if I clip that off, it will relieve a lot of pressure, and then I can use some stakes to kind of help this go upwards. Here's another one. Like, it's put on a lot of growth, and that's great, but I can use all of these pieces that I'm cutting to propagate. So that's going to be a free plant for me, and it's going to be really easy to propagate these. Here's another one I just wanted to show you. So this here has this long arm that's coming down, see that? But then all this new growth is popping up right in here. So again, this plant is telling me, it's time to do a little trimming. Now, I usually trim on these about once a year or every other year, but some of these I haven't done in a while, and they're definitely, it's definitely time. So I'm going to get in here, kind of clean up some of these branches. I'm going to repot some of these. I'm going to use some stakes to stake up a few of these and just sort of clean them up and work on my jade collection today. Now, normally I wouldn't clip on them except for, in the spring is kind of the best time, but they need such bad attention right now that I'm going to go ahead and do it, even though, it is December, or, well, I guess it's January now. I'm just going to go ahead and work on these today. So for repotting today, I do have some tools. Now, normally I wouldn't repot or even do any pruning on my jades until the spring, but my collection's in pretty bad shape and it's been pretty neglected. So even though it's a kind of a chilly day in January, I'm gonna go ahead and tackle this today. I do have some potting mix. I did grab some empty containers. Now, I would highly recommend terracotta pots for these. Glazed pottery works okay as well. Plastic pots are all right as well. So you can see, like, here's one, it's doing really, really well, and it's just in a plastic pot. So pretty much anything will, be fine. I am gonna kind of upgrade some of my plastic pots into some terracotta pots today because I just, I want to work on my collection. So here's another one where it's in a plastic pot. So I'm going to go ahead and put that in a pot that is terracotta today, or more of a glazed pottery. And you do want to make sure your pot has really good drainage, okay? Other things I have today, I just have my garden gloves. I did put down a mat on top of my surface of my countertop, and I'm going to link this mat below. It's awesome. It's got this like plastic coating. It's going to make cleanup a breeze. And then I did get this little tool set, so I wanted to share it with you. These are some tools I've had in the past for like smaller projects like this, indoor plants or bonsai. But I actually got this newer kit and it's really cute. It comes in this little bag. So I'll try to find the Amazon link and link it below for you, as well as this plastic mat that I'm using to pot on today. But I wanted to show you what you get in this little kit. So these ones are a little more, I would say a little bit more sturdy of tools. And so I can't see myself using the rake that much, but maybe to do some rocks or top dressing. And it's got 2 diameters here of little trowels, kind of a narrower one and a bigger one. It also came with a little paintbrush, which is good for, you know, sweeping away any excess dirt. It came with a clipper. So these are really nice. These are kind of a bonsai, really sharp clipper. It came with a little tweezer and also some plant tags. So this one, these are nice. They're kind of a wooden, like a balsa wood plant tags, and it comes in this little pouch. So I got these for Christmas. I'll see if I can find the link for you, but I'm definitely planning on using these today. So the first thing I'm going to do today is some pruning. I've got my little clippers here. I can try to use these if it's a small enough piece, or I've just got a nice pair of scissors that's nice and sharp, and I did sanitize them. So especially this one that has some disease, I definitely want to sanitize it in between so that I don't cross-contaminate some of my collection here. But this one with the disease, I'm going to take it down real hard, and I'm going to take it down first. So I'm going to go ahead and get started on trimming these. I'm not going to talk through that process because that would be really boring, but I will try to zoom in the camera so you can kind of see what I'm doing and where I'm making decisions to clip things. And hopefully that will help you if you are doing some pruning on your
Okay friends, I'm all done with my repotting of my jade plants. So I just wanted to show you what I got done. I definitely did some pot shuffling, putting things in larger pots. I watered everybody in, did some pretty hard prunes to a couple of these. A couple I didn't do much to, like this one I didn't do much to. It's funny, I propped this up and then it just kind of perked up when I watered it in. Yeah, so anyway, here's what I got going on, and they're all looking great. I got this one here, this one here. So I'm pretty happy with how they turned out. Let me show you my biggest one too. So here is my largest one, and I did have to run to the store and get a bigger pot. I'm trying to select mostly white pots right now, just so that my collection has more of a, you know, similar look to it. But anyway, it's right here by the window, and I think it's looking very happy in its new home. And you can see I also repotted some of my houseplants that I did in a previous video. So I'll link that video down below. I uppotted a few things and I repotted some of my new houseplants. So this whole area here by my bay window is looking pretty great. I'm pretty happy with it. Got my other one over here, and yeah. So hopefully you like checking out this video today, and hopefully it was helpful. If you have a jade plant or you're thinking about getting a jade plant, I would say go for it. They really are a pretty low maintenance plant, and they're pretty amazing. They're pretty fun and easy to grow. And I hope you liked the video today. So leave me a comment, a like, subscribe. And if you need me, I'll be hanging out right here with my houseplants. I'll see you guys next time. Bye.